We haven't even reached the offseason yet, and already your Seahawks are opening up the vaults, pulling on the purse strings of Jody Allen to pay kicker Jason Meyers a 4-year, $22.6 million contract extension. Woo, that is a lot of moolah for a kicker. And Meyers is, of course, coming off the heels of a Pro Bowl campaign in 2022, which may sound familiar to many of you because he was also coming off a Pro Bowl campaign in 2018 when the Seahawks signed him in free agency to a 4-year, $14.45 million deal. So at first blush, some of you may be thinking, yeah, it's a good deal. Coach Carroll needs to have a great special teams unit, not merely good. That is the way that he constructs his football team. So having a Pro Bowl type kicker out there on a weekly basis is going to help us win football games and thus well worth the well over $5 million a year you're going to be spending on Meyers. To that I say, let's tap our brakes just a little bit. When you're looking at paying a kicker, you're wanting to pay for consistency because indeed, most kickers on average are pretty highly inconsistent. It's very hard to get the guy year in and year out who's going to give you the same level of performance. The high water mark for this has been Justin Tucker over probably the last 7 to 8 years. Or if you're thinking about paying a kicker, you're measuring him up against him to see where he's standing on it because he's remained really good to great throughout that time period. And that's not exactly what you're getting here with Jason Meyers. When you go through and you look at his career, and specifically from a statistical standpoint, let's look at his kick accuracy through the years and where that ranks in the NFL. Is he really great in that respect? Is he good? Is he top 5? Is he a top 10? Because after 8 years, we of course have a lot of data to sift through in order to make that kind of determination. And if you look at the last 4 years here with the Seahawks first, Jason Meyers in 2019 started out the gate 23 of 28, which put him 20th in the NFL in kicking accuracy. Then the year after that, he bounced right back. Perfect year. First in the NFL in accuracy. Then back down into 2021, he's dipping back down again, all the way down to 31st. And keep in mind, he was at 31st with me removing about 6 other kickers ahead of him who had just had less than 10 kicks on the year. And so I just didn't want to keep them in there, or he would have been even deeper on that list in 2021. And then, of course, in 2022, he bounces back for 6th in kicking accuracy in the NFL. This puts him over a 4-year period on average at 15. Yes, there are a couple of great years in there, but there are also a couple of bad years in there. And as I was just speaking about a few moments ago, the thing you're trying to avoid if you're going to be paying kickers top end money, and right now Jason Meyers is now going to be the 2nd highest paid kicker in the entire NFL, you want consistency. So let's go back even further and look at his first 4 years with the New York Jets. In 2015, he was 13th in kicking accuracy. 2016, he was 26th. 2017, he was 30th. And then 2018, that contract year, sure it's just a coincidence, suddenly now he gets back up into 5th. So on average with the Jets, he was 19th in kicking accuracy through his 4 years there. And for his 4-year span here, he was 15th. So if you look at him from an 8-year standpoint, Jason Meyers has averaged 17th in the NFL in kicking accuracy on a yearly basis. And he's fluctuating highly on that year-to-year basis. I'm not going to pull my hair at this deal. I'm not going to scream and stomp and shout at this deal. It's not the biggest, worst thing in the world to have happen. But at the end of the day, this team has at times spent its money very oddly, even when it's had a lot of money to spend. Go back to the 2020 season where you had over $50 million to spend. And I'm going to put up a little item here to show you exactly how all that money got spent and delved out. You didn't get a lot for that $50 million spent. And I'm a little bit worried as I look at this deal and then thinking about the fact that you're eventually going to have a Geno contract extension and then thinking about the fact that you also have 10 picks, which are going to cost about $16 million off the current cap space that you have. And I start to wonder how much money there truly is going to be to go out there in free agency and be active, to go make that home run signing many of us are pounding the drum for the Seahawks needing to have. And yes, you're going to be able to accomplish a lot of the needs from this team within the draft, no doubt about it, with those said 10 picks. But you also probably need to augment some of that as well in going for, some guys out there in free agency as well, so you don't have to do all of the work in the draft, and then we don't have to wait for years and years for these guys to develop to get great, that we can start to get this team a little bit closer to an elite status, even moving into next year. So it's not a bad deal. It's It's not the worst deal in the world, but certainly when you're paying over $5 million a year, you really would like a little bit more of that consistency element provided. And that's just a little bit to Jason Meyers' game that's always been missing, even going all the way back to 2015. If he can have a consistent year, if he can pull back and be more of what he's been in his good times, it's money well spent. But if he's going to be more back into that inconsistent realm, up and down, not the best way to spend the very minute Seahawk dollar. My name is Brandon Kane. This is the Hawks Nest. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe. But beyond all that, don't you ever forget, go Hawks.